Hi everybody, it's the Family Unfriendly Reviewer here with my good friend RJ from the Geeks and Glasses, and today we're reviewing the Hot Toys Hulkbuster. Oh, this thing is fantastic. This is your first time seeing it. What do you think?
It's formidable. It's huge. It's heavy. The attention to detail is incredible. And I don't want to touch it because I don't want to break it. This thing is worth more than my car. No, it's fantastic. It's probably one of the nicest figures I think you have. I like all of yours, but this thing it's definitely a centerpiece, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, it is the best Hot Toys Iron Man figure produced, hands down. Took long enough for us to get it, but I'm glad they got it right. And this thing stands about 22 inches tall, is about 23 pounds, so it is not light. It feels weird to say you need help just to move a figure around, but that's absolutely the case here. You can see the paint is just gorgeous on here. There's a lot of little wear and tear and scratches and dirt. There's nothing plain about it, basically. I've got it with the lights all lit up. I'll show you the points where it does light up. You have your leg arc reactors. You have them in the palms here. You have your chest arc. You can see some light from the Iron Man bust inside. It has a chest arc reactor and lights that light up. The eyes light up. And then we're going to turn this guy around. Has profile thrusters and the back arc reactors, as well as rear leg thrusters. So that's a lot of lights on this guy. Again, turn back around here.
I think one of the things that impresses me most is how realistic the battle worn is. Like you said, you can see little chips and scratches on it, but it doesn't look like somebody went at it with a tool just to scratch it out. That looks like it's actually been in battle, which I think is a nice little attention to detail there.
Yeah, the scratches make sense on where they are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're just not like a... Yeah, it's nice. It's impressive.
Now, articulation is probably better than you'd expect from something this size. We'll just start with the arm here, and that will do a full 360. The shoulder pauldrons will move in and out, and even have these extra pieces here that move in and out. He can move his arms pretty much right up to his sides, but you do want to be careful with this not to get the pauldrons caught. In the gauntlets, they will move back, and the little gray piece with has an extendable, what I would think is almost a knuckle, and tasers. Now these will also fold up to match the gauntlet. In terms of the hand, it will articulate up and down, full 360. And one thing that a lot of people didn't notice at first is the Hulkbuster only has a thumb and 3 fingers. Now each of these fingers is triple jointed, so you have a joint here, a joint here, and a joint here, giving some very nice fist poses, along with a double jointed thumb.
I'm assuming it's like that on both sides.
Yes, it is. Okay. And this folds in nicely. Another thing that I'll show is on the rear of the elbows, you have another piece here which will open and close to basically make any position you keep the elbow in looking good. Speaking of the elbow, it will go from straight to about 90 degrees of bend. We get a little bit of upper waist articulation, but not a whole lot. A little bit more when the chest cavity is opened up, but it's really meant to be closed up, so that's really where you're going to have most of your articulation. Now, in terms of the legs, this is actually difficult to show off because they are literally hard to move by yourself.
What
so
do you want me to do?
If you could please just hold it up off the ground a little bit. I know it's not easy.
Well, I don't want to break it.
And you get a couple clicks.
Oh, that's actually pretty
forward.
impressive. It feels quite sturdy even, holding it up.
It is a sturdy figure.
Yeah.
It feels like it would break easier than it does. And then on the knees, you get a couple clicks. Little under, well, quite a bit under 90-degree bend. As for the toes, you have these rear claws almost, and the toes will go quite a bit far down and quite a bit far up. With the help of this flap, that will open and close for us.
You can almost get it like a thruster pose then, eh?
Just about, but I don't think I'd risk it.
No.
Now let's get this guy back to its front. And we will start showing off some of the head articulation. It just moves side to side a little bit. And when we move this rear panel up, give a better look at that, it allows us to raise the head. However, if we want to actually start getting this guy opened properly, we're going to have to start taking things off and out. So the way we're going to start is these bottom chest pieces will come out a little bit, and we will fold up the gold clamps.
Compared to some of your other Hot Toys, how does this one figure in how easy it is to pose it?
Very, very difficult.
Yeah.
It is just so heavy and unwieldy that pretty much any pose is actually a real pain. Actually, I'll get you to hold it for another moment because I'm just going to get the leg in a more neutral stance.
I see what you mean. This is a two-person job.
Yep. Now, if you want to move the legs by yourself, you literally have to go set it down on a couch or a bed or something soft, move it, then put it back to see if it looks good, and then bring it back and move it again if it doesn't. It is not easy. So next, we're going to move these out, and the lower chest, which is on a very handy little connecting piece in the center here, is going to fold a little bit down and away. Next, we come to the first of our magnetized pieces. Now these two will connect together on a hook in the middle, just to give a perfectly centered look when they're lined up, but can come apart to allow for more articulation in the figure. The next piece that will come off is the neck piece. And again, it's another magnet. So we're going to start folding this up, and we will just pull this up and out. Again, very nice detail on the piece here. With those out of the way, we can fold these hinged pieces up, and we're seeing more of the Iron Man bust. Then we'll get the last of our magnetized pieces, and we have the bust exposed. We want to remove this. It actually connects with the magnet as well, just on the back of the figure. Now it is very nice when lit up. It has the really good eyes, really good arc reactor. And now you can see the Hulkbuster all opened up. And what do you think?
It's impressive. I mean, the attention to detail is fantastic. I mean, it's it's so unwieldy. It's so big. I don't know how you were able to pose it by yourself the first time, but it's impressive. I mean, I'm always impressed by Hot Toys and their attention to detail and the quality of the figure. What do you think? Was it worth the money?
I think so. This thing is phenomenal. It's the holy grail of Iron Man figures, and I'm very happy with it. Yes, it is difficult to pose, but it is, when it strikes a pose, it looks very, very good, no matter how you display it.
Yeah, I know every time I come over to your place, these guys are always in other poses. I don't think I'll see this guy moved around as much, but it's always going to draw the eye. I mean, this thing is, just looking at the fine detail in the cabling here, and even the detail on the cabling is impressive. Even places where you didn't think you would need to see it, on the back of the legs here, is pretty impressive. This thing is, it's crazy. And you can also fit you can fit an entire Iron Man in here, right?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Now, I don't own the Mark 43, which is the recommended figure to go inside of it. But from what I've heard, the articulation suffers quite a bit when there is an Iron Man figure in there. And I would actually trade just keeping the bust in there for the extra articulation. I don't think anything necessarily is lost just presenting it with the Iron Man figure in there.
Oh, no, for sure. You lose the bottom half of the figure anyway, right? So having the bust is...
Just the bust is fine for me.
Yeah.
And even with just the bust in there, you can strike some fantastic poses. Because you don't need to put on every magnetic piece. In fact, you can get some amazing displays by leaving the neck piece off. So I will just show off one of those very quickly.
What's your favorite thing about this one? This specific model?
Oh, that is hard to say because there is so much to love about it, but I would just have to say the scale of it. There are other other Hulkbusters that you can buy, and this, I think, is definitively the best one that you can get for under $10,000.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's this was delayed, was it not?
Yes, yeah. This thing was announced back, I believe, March of 2015.
Oh, wow.
Around when Age of Ultron was actually coming out. Now,
well, at least they took their time and they made it right. I mean, I can't believe the attention to detail in this thing. It's incredible.
Another nice feature is these little shoulder pieces are magnetic and will come off to make posing a lot easier. So I'll show you what we can do with that.
I think having the magnets on there is quite nice too. Not a lot of clips and stuff to break because this thing is unwieldy.
And if we position this headpiece all the way back, we will move these forward. We will connect these two to get a nice centered look.
How long did it take you to put it together?
Oh, I was just fiddling with it for hours straight, so that's hard to say. But even just without the neck piece here, we'll put these shoulder pieces back on. Even displayed like this, it is just phenomenal looking. And, I know it's an expensive figure, but I think it's worth it if you can get a hold of it. I know that pre-orders were pretty much the only people who got it, aside from a lot of the eBay price gouging at the moment. I'm not one for giving much in terms of numbered ratings, but I really can't see any cons to this. Yes, it is a bit hard to move around, but that's just what you're going to get when the figure has the metal joints necessary to keep something like this both stable and looking really, really good.
Well, I think that falls in line of the actual armor, even in the movie and stuff. He's definitely not as mobile as he is in his little suits, right? I mean, it's all about power, not about mobility, and that transferred over pretty well. Yeah.
Well, that's about it for me. Do you have any final thoughts, RJ?
No, it's just impressive. If you can get your hands on one of these, I mean, I definitely would. I don't collect stuff, but I definitely would have one of these on my mantle, I think. So if you ever decide to sell it, maybe
I'll give you a
know.
call.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for coming by, RJ.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
And until next time, this is the Family Unfriendly Reviewer saying goodbye.